Hello my dear creative and welcome to day one of my perspective drawing series. Today will be all about 1 point perspective, plus I'll be testing this new marker set and liner. Liner thickness is 0.4. It's from Milan, Sway Fine Liner, jet black, but I'm not sure if it's waterproof or not, because markers may smudge or may not, so let's test it. And the marker set is from Sketch and Art, Bruno Visconti. It's the first time I will be drawing with it. I'll leave all the links in the description. So for this 1 point perspective drawing, I decided to pick a lovely bathroom interior. So here is our vanishing point, 1 point perspective, or sometimes also known as frontal perspective. It's when we have only one vanishing point on the horizon line. Horizon line is basically our eye level at which we are standing and perceiving this given space, this particular interior, and all these lines, as you can see, I start from these vanishing points. So the lines for the walls, ceiling, the floor, they all take origin from this line. With 1 point perspective, it's very kind of easy, because the lines are either strictly vertical in your interior or strictly horizontal, or they are running to the vanishing point. So there are only 3 types of lines. This video I decided to record without any time lapse, so this is a real time drawing, since it fits in my goal of about 10 to 15 minutes. At least that's what I noticed people tend to watch on YouTube and Instagram. Better let me know if you are fine with longer videos, because usually longer videos I give in my online courses, detailed step-by-step follow along tutorials. This is more like a demonstration, of course, with my explanation behind the scenes of what I'm doing, but it's not my typical, of course, it's not a typical tutorial, it's a demo. It's very interesting that with practice, when you use perspective a lot in your sketches, be that interior or architecture, you kind of already have in mind this vanishing point, and you don't need to draw all the lines up or down to the very end of this vanishing point. So your lines, of course, can be shorter, and they won't distract attention, because of course if you're just starting with interior sketching, you need a lot of preliminary lines, preliminary drawing, and of course it's better to start not with liner, but better with a pencil, so you can easily erase. I personally really love drawing with fine liners, but I prefer waterproof fine liners, so it should be written on them that it's waterproof. Why? Because when I apply markers, the color on top, I'm sure that those waterproof liners, they won't smudge, the line won't smudge. With this one, I'm not sure, probably it might get smudged, so maybe I'm doing a big mistake right now by drawing this first layer with this particular liner and not using it for final details, but that's fine. I know that this is quick sketch, that's a very quick sketch, so little imperfections, it's all fine, it's all good. Your sketches with them will look even more lively and not as perfect as like 3D renders, but from my practice, what I hear from my clients and my students, that's what they really love about sketching. Hand-rendered drawings, hand-rendered sketches, is that they have soul, they have vibrancy, a life in them. Let me know in the comments, why do you love sketching? Why do you love interior sketching? And if you prefer Procreate, more fine-tuned drawings, or do you prefer quick sketches? And now on to the color. It's the very first time I'm opening and testing this set. One more time, the link to it will be below. I really love that they have this lovely terracotta color palette. It's alcohol-based markers. They are refillable, and of course, when I'm using a marker for the first time, oh look, this one has in section. If we, with the section, it has triangular shape. It's very unusual, so they look very, very elegant, if I can say so about markers. They look very, very elegant. They fit nicely into the hand, so it's quite comfortable to hold them. For example, if you've ever used Copic Classic, they can be quite bulky for some people, especially for women, because we usually tend to have thinner fingers, right, and more tiny hands. So this particular form feels really, really nice into my hand. And talking about Copic, I personally prefer Copic Sketch because I also love the feeling of them in my hand. They are ellipse shaped in section. Okay, so I tested the colors and I pick one that fits best to render this particular wooden texture, this lovely timber. The color palette, it's quite minimal in this interior. It's primarily white and some wooden colors, so that's what I really love. It's more like an interior architecture. Very, very beautiful architecture of this bathroom. Plus we can see a deck, some outside parts like deck, terrace, and those lovely views, that lovely vista of nature views. I love to do outlines before using my chisel nib, because it kind of helps me to understand where should I apply the color, which areas should I avoid, especially like here we are dealing with a lot of white color in interior, so it's really important to know the edges, your outlines. And for the flooring area, I'm using vertical hatching, and for this cabinet to the right, you've probably noticed that I used sketching by the form, so I followed the form of this object to the vanishing point. Also, we have this lovely side table next to the bathtub, and I'm using beige color from this color set. Its number is 142. There is no particular name on it. And I forgot to put a piece of paper below, so I can't, so I can draw on the next page, but now I obviously can't. But it's really important when you're not using specific marker pad, a marker sketchbook. This is a regular sketchbook with quite thick but regular paper, so marker can go through. And remember, if you want to use the next page, you want to put something behind your drawing, so you can use the next page easily. I'm using a darker color. This one is 98 98, this lovely chocolate brown for some shadows. And it's interesting that with markers as well as with watercolor, the colors will eventually get a bit lighter. So now they look quite high contrast, but after maybe 10 minutes, they will fade a little bit on this kind of paper, because paper, the cotton part of the paper, it will kind of soak in the pigment of the color, and that will make the color a bit more faded. So now on to the back to my fine liner, and as you can see on this side table, indeed this fine liner, it's not waterproof, so we can see some smudged lines, but that's fine. I don't worry much about that. But for some sketches, it's really, really important. So you better first test it somewhere on the side. And now I'm at the final stage of my drawing. Final stage, what I call in my book the sketch interior design drawing enlivening. It's when you put some greeneries, plants, some little details like all those creams, shampoo or something like that, like towels, all that enlivens your drawing, what brings life to it, because very often with beginners I hear from them that they don't like that their sketches without life, so they are like a bit of lifeless, because they try so hard to keep in mind the perspective and everything is too strict, too straight, too correct. And what can really help here is adding some greenery, some hand-drawn lines without ruler. As you can see here, I'm not using ruler at all. I'm drawing some trees on the background, as trees outline, and I think I will use a green color. I feel like I need some green color. I don't have in this marker set green color, even though the green color is right on the set, on the box of the set. But I'll use another marker brand. It's Touch 5, I believe. I'll use green from Touch 5 for bringing some life. Green, as always, beautiful. This beautiful color, which brings life, energy, and calmness to your space. I'm almost done with this sketch. One more time, we are talking today about 1-point perspective. In my next day, my next video of this perspective drawing challenge of different types of perspective, I'll be focusing on 2-point perspective. So turn on the notifications so you won't miss that. And 1-point perspective is really widely used in interior sketching, especially for spaces, quite big spaces, like spacious bathrooms, restaurants, interior restaurants, big living rooms. And now, as you can see, I'm at the very, very final stage, fine-tuning, adding textures, and of course, signing my sketch. One more time, let me know in the comments why do you love interior sketching, and I can't wait to see you in the next day. Bye for now.